Hello and welcome. This is Dr. Janet Franco, also known as Soulful Rosie, and welcome to the Soulful Rosie and Friends live show today. And it is a very, very exciting time in the world. I know we're all going through a lot, but we've got some great answers for you guys out there that are watching today. And to share what we have today, we have a very, very special, distinguished guest that we have coming on talking about holograms and frequency and EMF. You know, you've heard the story about the 5G and all these things that are going on in our world that breaks down the immune system. But what if we can build up the immune system? What if we can protect the immune system? What if we can do things to grow telomeres? Do you know what that is? We can protect the DNA. We can support the body in ways that you probably have never heard before. So with all that said, I want to bring on my resident physician for the Triple Crown of Health and Wellness. Meet Miss Dr. Denise Tropea. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Great to be here, Janet. Doing wonderful. Doing great.
You're always having a good day, it seems.
Yeah,
what is your secret? That's awesome. Well, you know, we have been through a lot lately.
Yes.
We have a lot of things to share, a lot of things to introduce. And I wanted to first, before we get to our special guest today, I want to talk a little bit about the Triple Crown. As people know that have been following me for over 2 decades myself on radio and television, we have now brought it into an arsenal of products and services that not only blend and work together, but are the most cutting edge products and services and health sciences the world has ever seen come together in one portal. And that would be us. So right. I want you to explain the Triple Crown of Health and Wellness for those people that have never heard it before. What is the Triple Crown?
Well, what we've done with the Triple Crown is it's 3 segments. And when we break down the jewels, the sapphire jewel, which is blue, and that's oxygen, that's hydrogen, that's the breath of life. And how do we enhance oxygen to our bodies to heal our bodies? When we think about oxygen, yes, it's something that we breathe. It's an element on the periodic table, but it does so much more. It turns on over 8,000 genes in our body. So it does a lot more, and that's where the education needs to come in. When we talk about the emerald jewel, the green, that's the earth, that's the substance, that's what we're made of, the DNA. And all living things have DNA, our blueprint, and that's what makes us unique. So how can we supplement that DNA? How can we repair that DNA for a quality life? How can we grow those telomeres for anti-aging? And hey, let's find the fountain of youth. That's where I want to go. So your DNA is not your destiny. Then we go to quantum, and that's the amethyst crown, the jewel, excuse me. But with quantum, it all goes back to that. It all goes back to energy. It's all about energy. And that's why we're just so excited about our guest today as well, because it is energy first. Everything has molecules, everything has spin, you know, and that's what makes it unique, and how we can actually go as far as saying quantum healing. So with the Triple Crown, we're bringing it all together and helping people to regain and maintain their health, the health of their family, and also their friends, and how we can have a healthier community.
Well, that's beautiful. I love that. It seems like the more we do these shows together, the better the rhythm gets on how to explain it, because it's a lot to try to share in a minute or two. But before we bring Steve on, I want to say that in our seminars, we used to talk about frequency when it came to emotions, when it came to the word love and it came to the word hate. You can feel the difference. You can feel the difference so sometimes if you're talking to people, they don't understand the big words. They don't understand the scientific words. But if you take it to an emotion, you take it to a thought, everything has a frequency. Mm-hmm. So if we're working on our cell phones, we don't know how the phone is working, but we know it is. So there's got to be something between the phone and our ear that's making this magical thing called cell phones work. But the issue has been all this talk about 5G and about EMF And so many of our children are living on these tablets and the television, the computers, and the cancer rates are off the charts, as
Yes.
we know. And now they're saying, Warren tells us the 5Gs are going to even affect the skin now, the immune cells of the skin. So I would like, with no further ado, for you to introduce the CEO of Body Align. Would you please introduce Steve for us?
Yes, Steve is the founder and CEO of Body Align. That's a company that specializes in 5G, EMF protection, and energy wellness. And that's where it's all at with the energy. By degree, Steve is a mechanical engineer. He had worked with Texas Instruments for greater than 20 years. And when I think of Texas Instruments, I think of my calculator.
Right.
Actually developed patents for 2G, 3G, even 4G. So this is not his first rodeo, that's for sure. And in 2006, Steve and his partner were the first to program good frequencies into a holographic disc in order to have positive effects on the body. And then just how he brings together Chinese medicine, the meridians, everything that I've been just so passionate about. So without further ado, Steve Lepkowski.
Thank you, Dr.
Hi,
Denise.
Steve. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really am looking forward to this. And, it's so inspirational to feel the vibe that you get when you talk about the Triple Crown. I mean, I can visualize the crystals. I can visualize the natural order that you placed everything through, which is absolutely amazing. You walked us through water, the essence, oxygen, hydrogen, how vital it is to our body. Then you walked us through the earth, the things that make us who we are, and then ultimately energy. Now, Dr. Denise and Rosie, let me give you a little insight. In April, 5-6 years ago, in the CERN supercomputer, if you watch the Big Bang Theory, you might connect to this a little bit. Well, Einstein created a formula that said E, energy, equals mass, okay, times the speed of light squared. That's a big number. A little bit of mass makes a big amount of energy. But at the CERN, when they found the Higgs boson, they called it the God particle. They reversed the equation. Mass, our existence, our being, our earth, our water, our molecule, everything that we have was created from energy. And it took the Higgs boson to prove that energy created mass. Dr. Denise was a major breakthrough. The physicians of the world, the physicists of the world, got totally blown away going, one of our models that we use to create bombs, it says, let's take mass and make energy, is the other way around. Energy, the Big Bang, created the first molecules, the first atoms. It became molecules. It became systems and organisms. And before long, welcome to the human race. So we are well connected across the Triple Crown. And I'm so excited to bring that to you. I've long had a passion of using the earth, the energies of the world, to create a biological change, a positive biological change. This goes back 12, 15 years, and I retired from Texas Instruments after designing cell phones, and how, as we worried about EMFs. Now, I don't want to connect, 5G isn't the problem, 4G isn't the problem, microwaves aren't the problem, our computer isn't the problem, EMFs are the problem. Okay, 5G is just the standard, the way telecommunications happens. And it really, for us techies, it's just a number of energy transmissions of zeros and ones through the air, okay? So let's talk about EMS, the fundamental thing that's happening to our bodies. And there is no argument in the medical community that EMS, energy, these free energies, can create a negative biological response. Case closed, right? That is happening. What's going on in the universe is these technologies that give us better quality of life. These technologies went from 1G to 2G to 3G to 4G to 4G LTE to 5G to 6G and so on and so on. And so what happened was they needed to get you more experience, more life. So the way they had to do that is have to increase the frequency. What happens when I increase the frequency? I shorten the distance that wave can travel. So how do I make up for it? I double the power. I add power to it. Or I make it more dense so I have more of these poles all over the world so I can provide you the data, the information that you're going to need, okay? So a slow frequency like 60 hertz could provide you a 0 and a 1 and a 0 and a 1. 1G and 2G provided you 0 and a 1, 0 and a 1, 0 and a 4G was 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. And I can't even move fast enough to show you what 5G is going to do. But that's what happens.
Good way to look at it, Steve. That's a good way to explain it.
Give us more and more information. And the only way to do that is we have to ride the data on the wave. Okay. Faster the wave, the shorter the distance. Well, how do we overcome it? The Verizons of the world, the AT&Ts of the world, Sprints of the world, or not T-Mobile, have to pack more towers and more power into the radius. You can drive down a street in Durham, North Carolina, Renaissance Parkway, and you'll see 9 cell towers just for Verizon. Imagine when AT&T jumps on there, your body is being overloaded. In the past, 4G could go a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile, and give you the experience. Now to give you, they call them small cells, much smaller, closer to you, closer to where you live, okay, closer where you walk and where you drive, more energy is going to be bombarding the body. So I can see this progression happening. I could see it a long time ago. So I started studying what's going on in the body. Dr. Denise, this is so exciting for me because I care about the biology. You know, the physics of how this is made is meaningless, right? Compared to what the biology is happening, right? What the dis-ease, the pushing our body out of homeostasis into some negative realm, and how do we bring it back, right? How do we get the body back to saying, hey, you can't affect me, right? You can't stop this. I'm back to normal. So we've got to find a way to do that. We can do it inside out. There's supplements I think you can take that kind of help chemically balance you, but you've energetically disturbed the body. Now, one way to do it is if you wanted to, you could use all the research we've ever done is just go walk on the beach and let your body just drain the energies away, and you'll come back to homeostasis, energetic homeostasis, right? If you have a beach available, don't.
I was going to say, do we have a beach here? I don't think so. Not in Nevada.
Well, we have all beach, no ocean.
You could do it on the grass, but there's chemicals, and don't put chemicals on your bare feet, right? You could do it on the sidewalk, but God only knows what's been oils and stuff that have been on them. So that there is no natural cleansing. Yes, the ocean does that and cleans our beaches. And if you went for a walk, the headache you would have from 5G and 4G and EMF exposure would dissipate. And you'd feel like $1 million. That's why so many people love to go for a walk on the beach. It changes their day because their body's being drained of all those excess energy.
But as you talk about that, what comes to mind is that cell resonance. There you go. It's all cell resonant. Very interesting concept.
Right. So in the technology realm, we started looking at ways, and one of the paths that led me was acupuncture. What would happen in the energetic world? Rosie and Dr. Denise, I know you'll agree with me when I say this. Do you know 2/3 of the world's population? There's about 8 billion of us, right?
Yeah.
So let's say about 10 billion people, about 5 billion people out there today use energy is the most common form of their wellness, right? All of India, all of China, all of Africa, most of South America look to energy to manage their wellness. Only us folks in the in North America and Europe look to chemicals, okay? Dr. Baer and Dr. Huffman created the first pharmaceutical.
Aspirin, right?
Aspirin, very good. Acetylsalicylic acid, right? The first pharmaceutical. We synthesized silic acid, which comes from the bark of a willow tree. We quickly got away from nature's own ability to take inflammation out of the body. So I started looking at ways to do that. And I ran into a technologist out of Johns Creek, Georgia, Warren Hanchey. We got together. I brought the biology of the world. He brought the technology, what happens. And now we've merged this very happy marriage of taking technology, looking at biology, and how do we remove the energies? How do we get the body back in homeostasis, energetic homeostasis? So in the case of 5G and 4G and EMFs, we created this rather large hologram. I think you can see it here. And it's designed to provide a signaling to the body. These are natural hundreds of frequencies that Warren's technology crams into here and readjusts the molecules in a 3-dimensional space. Holograms are 3-dimensional, can readjust those such that it transmits back to the body those frequencies of calcium and magnesium and sodium and red yeast rice and all the natural things that we can find that will move the body back into homeostasis, move the body back.
Steve, real quick on that filter, what actually activates the filter? Is it your body's resonance? Is it the frequency of the the EMF that I find, what
I'm
activates
so
that?
lucky because I use all the things. I use heat to activate it. I use light to activate it. I can use actual broadcast and absorption frequencies in and out of the phone. That's why we try to place it close to the antenna, because all the energy of the world that are passing through it, these molecules, okay, inside of here, all have a reestablished frequency, okay, and they're all going to vibrate when excited. So it doesn't matter, neutrinos and God's energy, right? Anything passing through here is going to excite those molecules to rebroadcast those frequencies back into the body.
And it's reducing the amount of heat. So thus the inflammation is reduced. And, this is where it's at.
From some of Warren's videos and our videos on
Yeah.
www.bodyline.com/science, you'll see where we took really ugly blood that's been bombarded with EMFs. It clumps together, gets in these long chains, and you can see what happens is we push the hologram near it, those chains open up. Now, if you take two red blood cells, they look like discs, right? And if I took two red blood cells that are floating through the body, I've got plenty of surface area for oxygen and carbon dioxide and nutrients in and out, right? But if I go like this, I've taken 4 surface areas and I've made 2 surface areas. And I take another one, I took those other 2 surface areas and I haven't even made a new one yet, right? I've just started linking these together, okay? And they're no longer effective. So our technology, what do you think we're doing is we're looking at ways to open that chain back up, okay? So we look at ways to reduce inflammation. We look at ways to tell the kidneys and the liver, hey guys, start dumping calcium into the bloodstream because the alkalinity just dropped. We went acidic, okay? These EMFs can cause these imbalances. So what happens is we signal to the body, the kidneys and the liver start to reconnect and going, our bone marrow, our blood is out of whack. The bone marrow sees plenty of red blood cells. The liver and kidneys see plenty of things happening that's good. Only the human eye can see we've made a destructive force in the blood. So we got to reset them through the meridians of the body, through this technology. Liver, kidneys talk. We start dumping magnesium and calcium and stuff to raise the pH, to get more alkalinity. Cells get succulent. They get really big and clean and neat, and our body's back to homeostasis.
And then don't forget how it improves the immune system when you're doing all that.
Absolutely. You would see in the dark field microscopy that we use, you see these 2 or 3 types of white blood cells that you can see in the picture. They look lethargic. You put that hologram there and they are voracious. Okay. The cleaners get up going. Now the pH is where it belongs. Okay, in the body. And so these things are activated now and they're going to start eating the bad stuff and passing it through the kidneys to pass it out of your body. Welcome to wellness, right? Yeah. Welcome to the body doing what it needs to do.
Be interesting. I've had, live blood analysis done, and you can really see when someone's chronically fatigued, their white blood cells, they aren't even moving. They're so sluggish. So how do you expect them to have any sort of combating of, infection or bacteria, viruses in your body?
Right. And all that leads to, if it can't clean it, we become more and more toxic. That means we have more and more inflammation and bad things start to happen to the body. We got to start by reducing that inflammation. The way we do that is through a healthy diet. That's the inside out, right? And outside in. My type of products go out there and help us make changes that what the environment's doing to us, we put you back in a direction of homeostasis, back into that balance. So this product here, you can get that at bodyline.com. Okay, this goes on your cell phone, and as the energies of the phone and the tower pass through this, it's signaling to the body. Now, we've tested it at 5 to 6 feet, 8 feet away, and we have really good results to show that we're still in like an antenna, right? This absolutely is amazing to me because that far away, I can still show a biological positive impact to the body.
Steve, have you tested how far away it works or it's activated with when you have the cell phone, like 5 feet or
so we're very comfortable in the 5 to 7 feet range that we don't see much drop off. After that, it drops off pretty drastically. So that's why most people carry these in their bra. If you're a woman, your back pocket, your front pocket. And this is why this is so big. This is why we sell a unique hologram for the phone. Okay. Because I want it close to the body, as close as we can. And I wish I could give you the meridians, right? Put it on the heart chakra. You could permanently, it would be really nice, but you're not going to walk around with your cell phone like this all day. So I've had to create this extra strong, extra large, because you're going to put it in your back pocket, right? Not a lot of good meridians on the buttocks, but close to the body means those meridians that can sense it and do something with it are still going to get a dose of it.
So I know Warren talks about children, animals, and plants are more sensitive to the frequencies, and the ATP is drained so much more quickly from an animal. So is this something, this filter, is this something we could put on our animals' tags, or like what would you suggest with our plants and our animals, or anything that you can suggest there?
So he's absolutely right. And we've talked about this a lot, that there is a lot of sensitivity to EMFs, especially lower energy EMFs for younger kids, because the slower the waves, okay, penetrate deeper. I got a thick head, so it doesn't get in as far as on a child, right? We know a lot about bone density. The cell phone companies have told us forever that, there's more than enough mass in the bone in our head not to cause this kind of problem, okay? I disagree with them. The smaller these waves are, okay, can create the kind of impact that we're seeing. And it's no doubt about it, at the cellular level, we see the impact, right? So kids, absolutely. This is something, if I had a daughter, this is unique, right? The DNA for a male is reproduced every 30 days, right? It kind of natural cleansing, right? If there's a couple defective sperm, they're going to pass away. In utero, all the eggs that a woman is ever going to have are there. So therefore, if we're doing any damage through EMF or chemicals or whatever is in our environment, those eggs are done. They're toast. If they've absorbed something bad or created an imbalance in the DNA, it's permanent, ladies and gentlemen. And if they get fortunate enough to be fertilized, we now have a child that DNA is not exactly like mom. Okay. Wow. It's going to be a lot like dad, because he may have passed away. The contaminated ones or the defective ones get passed out every 30 days, but moms are permanent. They're in utero. I'm so nervous that this population that we've had, maybe as far back as leaded gasoline, thank you, Mr. Ford, right? Leaded gasoline, all the lead that was in the air, started to create a change in the DNA, okay, that we couldn't see yet. I called it epigenetics, right? Started to see those environmental changes happening and roll the clock ahead to where we are today.
Is there any way you can modulate those filters to support those damaged cells? Is there anything that we could have in those that actually helps to replenish what we've damaged?
Sure. Well, we absolutely believe that when I understand the biology of post-EMF damage, what needs to happen besides activating the white blood cells, activating the red blood cells, getting you back to homeostasis, that might be good enough. But I don't know all the biology of post-cellular damage. I mean, at the cell level, most of those cells die, okay, whether they're damaged by chemicals or viruses or EMF waves. Once they die, they're no longer, I can't recreate, I can't resurrect them, right? They're gone, they're passing out of the body. What I can do is look for ways to prevent that damage or prevent them from passing. So we are looking at a product, our next generation product. We've taken a lot of botanicals and stuff to say, is there something out there that we could use to post damage repair or post EMF bombardment repair? And I expect to have some formulation available for our next generation. And we'll see that, and then it'll be in our wristband product, because it's something you need to wear 24 or more than a couple hours a day, and it needs to be on your body all the time and not on your cell phone you might set away. So there'll be a prevention, right? This is a protection. This stops the damages. But anytime, this stops the damages, right? And the next generation of the wristband will foster the healing, so get you back on track.
Wow.
And so you have wristbands for a lot of different conditions, don't you? You have wristbands.
The meridians of the body are really good here. The pericardium is a phenomenal meridian that allows us to signal to the blood and to the heart. So we use that a lot for any of the things that can be affected by those, right? Remember, we're using the energies of the body in Chinese medicine, 13,000 years of experience, to tell me, Steve, if you can't sleep, it's because you have a hot gallbladder, not the actual organ, but your meridians of the body are probably charged. So if I could take a sensitive enough thermometer, I would see that gallbladder would be a hot meridian. So I need to cool that meridian, and an acupuncture to put a needle in and rotate it, okay, and use their energies to pull the energy out and help the person get back to homeostasis, back to sleeping well. Okay, so we have a family of wristbands at Body Align that address, one wristband addresses more energy during the day. It helps to lower the pain. Okay, if you have some small systemic pain, things like fibromyalgia or neuropathy, right? These tend to help a lot, but you don't wear them at night because they're an energy booster. Okay, and we put some overall energetic balancing in here. So to wear this 6-7 hours a day is probably not enough. 24 hours a day is too much. So somewhere in there is a good balance, or you should have this on for good energetic balancing, for lower pain and increased energy. Now I have a black one on and yellow on. They do the same thing. Okay. I use discrete holograms and the technology that we use. So if you want to sleep, you get 2 little dime shaped holograms. They go on the back of your ear, right here in our gallbladder meridian. When in the morning you wake up, you peel them off, you put them on the bedpost. Okay. Next morning you go clean the spot again, go back, grab them, pop them back on. They're good for 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 night sleeps, and then you got to throw them away and replace them. These are near permanent. As long as you don't damage them, you can have them forever. Just like the cell phone disc. I don't think there's a good way to get it on and off if you had to razor blade to get it because you got a new phone, but I make it economical. This is not $100 solution, right? This is a $30 solution. And most of the time there's discounts to allow people to get it even cheaper than that. So
I wanted to mention that, Steve. They can go to soulfulrosie.com, ROSIE.com, and just click on your logo there, and it'll go right to Body Align. And I know the products are all up there. It's very exciting because those people listening, we've aligned just together recently. So this is it. And we're introducing Steve to our audience, and we want to take it to the veterans, and we want to take it to, I work with all kinds of people in the hyperbaric community. We have a lot of anoxic babies, we have diabetics, and all these worldwide, research we've done with oxygen. This is nothing but a complement to what these experts are already doing in the area of hyperbaric oxygen. So we're very, very excited about that. So, but anyway, I wanted to ask you something else. Like if you're in your house, I know Dr. Warren has talked about a meter that you can measure the EMF in your home or in your car, in your business. So he suggested something about putting the filters maybe on your antenna on your computer and your TV or wherever there's EMF coming in, and then you could actually measure it, correct, to see if you're living in an environment that is safe.
Well, certainly you have the opportunity. You can get them on Amazon. They're called EMF meters, and they're just you turn it on and it's sensing, is it seeing any electromagnetic? You go over by your computer and it's going to go off the chart. You put your cell phone. It's kind of interesting. You put your cell phone like this, and it actually registers pretty low.
Wow.
Because the tower and the phone are just pinging each other. The tower says, you got a phone call coming. This thing ramps up the energy. Okay. It's much less energy when it's just hanging out here. In fact, that's one of the ideas I put into the phone to save the battery, is we don't need to every second. We can, tower, are you there? Yes, I'm here. Tower, are you there? Yes, we're here. Oh, you got a phone call coming, ramp up the power. Okay. That's why these aren't hot usually when you're just holding them, but you start talking on the phone and it gets hot because it's having to burn up the battery in order to communicate well. So remind me again, Rosie.
The filters around the house.
So this measurement machine will allow you to see how polluted, I call that the digital pollution, right? How polluted your area is. And you'll get some good results if you have this filter by a transmitter, like in the antenna on your Wi-Fi. But most of the time they're totally encased and you can't get to them. So you could put one of our filters on the case, but you're not going to see a significant drop in that EMF. But what you are going to see is a significant improvement in the way your body handles it. If I was to put up a shield here and say no EMFs are coming in or out of this phone, okay, it wouldn't work. It needs those energies to work. So if anybody's telling you, oh, we stop EMFs, then your phone wouldn't work. You might as well not use the phone, because that would cancel out any of the frequencies that are coming in and out here. EMFs are required. That's how we communicate. These energies pass through the air to us. So we need to worry about the biology. What's it doing to the body? Okay, so I love the meters to show you how contaminated it is. And then we can look for galvanic skin response in other areas to show how this product lowers the EMFs in the room, but ultimately it improves the disaster that's happening in your body because of them. And that's where I see the world through the biology eyes. Okay, I know there's a ton of EMFs. No matter where we are, we're getting it. But my cell phone's in the kitchen, and I'm in my bedroom. And I'm going, well, the tower's still there.
Right. That
Your
hasn't gone.
phone is still there. Your microwave is. You have too much of it going on to believe that we're immune from it. So what we need to way is to find a way to get our bodies more immune to it.
You know, Steve, this is a rabbit hole, this conversation. You know, we've talked to Warren too, and we'd like to do a whole series of educational series with you guys and just take it from, because this is the hardest thing to teach because you can't see it. And you know what I mean? And just listening to your voice and your animation, I'm watching, because I'm a marketing person. I could see this whole cartoon with you talking and seeing, because people have to understand the value of what you're saying. So, because they listen to this and they get overwhelmed sometimes. I'm sure you've heard that. They get overwhelmed with all this information. But if we had a cartoon and you just dictate what's going on and we could see, like you did, I think it was brilliant how you explained it, because it's very, very difficult to understand this, but it's vital. It's vital for life right now. We are going to be seeing cancers, 2 and 3 right now. I think we're going to be seeing, you know, even Warren talks about the skin and how, it's going to, 5G will be affecting the immune cells of the skin. And there's so many different things that we're going to be doing together. So I'm really excited to have you on today and introduce you to everybody and have you on more shows and do a whole series. And I know Dr. Denise, we're putting the Triple Crown website, just so you know, is all information.
Mhm.
I think the one thing missing in the healing arts or the health sciences is a place where people can go and get the facts and get the white papers and get the studies and get the real information, because people are tired of being sold a bill of goods. You can see it in the world right now. We're tired of being lied to. We're tired of everything, being a prescription. And so we need to get into the science and prove the science. And we would love to do that with you. Very interesting. I love your presentation style. You're very, very good at what you do. And it's been really, really nice to have you on. Dr. Denise, did you have any final thoughts for Steve before we?
Well, I did have a question that
Yes,
came
go ahead.
up with so many people wearing the watches, the Apple watches and all that. Some of your recommendations of what they can do to help them, to protect themselves.
Sure. So if you have the cell phone on you, you don't have to worry about the watch, right? If you have it in your pocket and you have a watch, but a lot of watches now, isn't it amazing? When I started out, you had to have a phone with a curly cord and a bag on your hip in order to talk on a cell phone, right?
Right.
Now look what we're doing. And now we've got a cell phone in our watch. So if you have no other protection, okay, if you don't have this or your cell phone on you and just have your watch, then we offer a hologram in a rectangular fashion. We call it for personal electronics. So it's our EMF strips, and you would just put a strip on the back of the phone.
Oh, okay.
On the back of the wristwatch, your phone, and when you turn it over to your skin, you are absolutely well protected. That same strip you'd use on your monitor, your laptop, your Kindle, anything that's going to be close to your body. Okay, this is ultimately very strong and it's harmonized with the cell phone. The strips are designed to be the same filtering that's going to do, but it's designed for the other electronics in our life. So you put one on your router, you put one on your TV. And again, we try to keep the economies in a spot where you can afford to have 2 or 3 of these in your life, because I believe it's essential to keep us in balance.
And then what if they want to wear a body aligned bracelet? That's no issue either, right?
Sure.
None at all.
None of the body doesn't need the energies, it ignores them. Isn't that kind of cool? The body says, hey, I got plenty of magnesium. I'm cool. Good. Okay. So we can't overdose on energies. Okay. It's like overdosing on happy thoughts. It ain't gonna get happier than happy, right? So that's kind of what's happening in the energy world. But what we can do is complement each other. So if you're in pain and you've got neuropathy and your hands hurt at night, we have discrete pain relief holograms that you can put. Okay, and we give you the meridians where to put them, such that when you go to bed at night, you can have a discrete pain relief hologram that's designed to help your body deal with neuropathy, or if you've got a wound, or if you've got a swelling, you can put them on and give the body that the ability to relax, drive that inflammation out of there, and lower your pain level. These are discrete. We have them for boosting of energy, for boosting mass for men. We call it the mass disc. We have a youth disc for women to help balance hormonal issues in the body during their cycle. The PMS levels tend to go down, right? And hot flashes for women in their later years tend to be much more relaxed, less intense. And in fact, many women don't get them if they use the holograms that we have. We have them for allergies. So if you find yourself sneezing and runny nose, you can put them right here. They're clear, little rectangle dots that go right here. And once you get past that histine, you can move them over here because you look like a football player. You're going to move them over here in your temples and you're going to be good. Okay. You're not going to have to put any chemicals in your body in order to pass these.
You know, I've got a testimony from a friend of mine that has acid reflux so bad that he'd have to get up 2 or 3 times a night just to take his Tums or whatever. And so he put one on right on his stomach area, right here where it hurt. And he said, I swear it's been like the 3rd night and I haven't gotten up at all, which I think is beyond impressive. That, again, you can't see it, but it's there. It's really working. And getting back to the people that watch this, that are either teachers or involved with children or schools, they really need to take heed, because with all that's going on with this virus, they're doing a lot of schools. They're just doing on the internet now and like Zoom and like we're doing. So it's vital that these teachers look at putting these filters on these computers that these kids are on 6 to 8 hours every day. I know kids that are on these things, pads, for 12 hours a day.
Their phones
my
too.
grandkids. Yeah. So any teachers out there, educators, they need to take heed.
They all carry cell phones. So if they have this in their pocket while they're on a laptop, they're covered.
Oh, really?
Economically, they need to have one of these in close proximity to their bodies. If they don't, or the family doesn't buy into it, and the school invested in putting our filters on every iPad or whatever they give the kids to use, would be absolutely brilliant. You know, right now there are schools around the world, school systems that are turning off their Wi-Fi's, blocking cellulars, moving cellular towers away from the schools because they've seen a pattern of disruption. They're attributing it to EMF, and I'm a firm believer that's the case. And they see that going back to the homeostasis, back to balance, as they pushed out the envelope, this digital toxicity, pushing it out. And I think it's brilliant. I think we got to learn from people that have proven that there are ways to mitigate the damages from EMF, and that's what we ought to be after.
Right. Well, gosh, Steve, thank you so much. Again, you have done some great work over the years, and you came highly recommended by Warren Hanshu. We've had the honor and privilege of doing quite a few interviews with him and some webinars, and just understanding spin and understanding all the things that go into this. Technology is so profound, and yet it's simple when it comes to understanding it's the way God made it. It's the circuit system, that we need to keep that circuit system connected with our Creator as well. And I do believe that is a big part of it, is when you're out of touch, you're out of tune, then that's when things go wrong. But when you're in tune, this is a way to bring you in tune to that wonderful current that can be balanced if we have something like you offer. So again, thank you so much for being here, CEO of Body Align, and go to soulfulrosie.com and click on that logo. You'll see Body Align right there, and order them. These are so inexpensive. They're just there's no excuse. There's 3 or 4 cups of coffee, and you're protecting yourself for a year or whatever, So put your priorities in order, people, and do this. And again, thank you, Dr. Denise, for being here on this amazing webinar.
And I just have to say, you can't control the virus, but you can control the host.
There you go.
Who's the host?
And so this is what we're doing. We are, and this is finding solutions. The solutions are here. We just need to get it out there and make people understand it.
And on behalf of your listeners, the folks that tune into you and trust you, we put a discount code for you. Okay. So it's going to be your name, Soulful Rosie. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I know you do a lot of interviews.
Woohoo!
We have one for memory.
There you go. We're working on one for hair loss. That's my next big one.
That's okay.
one word, put it in when you check out and you get a 20% discount. All our products are, if you don't like them, 30 days, send them back to us. Call us, we'll give you an RMA number, send them back to us and we'll refund your money. But I think you're going to find a significant difference in the way you feel in the late afternoon. Instead of being bogged down, you're going to be lifted up and be able to live a much more productive life. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Namaste. Thank you,
Thank you very much.
God bless you. Take care. Okay. All righty. Well, Dr. Denise will finalize the show here, and we'll be on next week, and we'll have another wonderful guest. I think next week will be on our DNA repair breakthrough.
Yes.
And
yes,
that should be interesting, especially after this conversation of protecting ourselves. And now we have something that can actually help to repair what we've damaged in our system. And so that's comes with 65 years of studies. Isn't that amazing? Every time I say that, it's
oh yes, it's just incredible to know that the building blocks is what we need. And it's so difficult to get that in our diets today.
Yeah.
And so we really need to change that chemically.
Yes.
And then we're moving into that energetic realm.
Amen.
So, after having Warren here for the last week or so and talking to him and then all the other experts, it just becomes like an epiphany, like poof, the quantum leap is here. If we have that energy and we're realigning that energy, our health is definitely going to change, and it has to be for the better.
Yes. Well, I want to announce too, we had the experts in town. We did a wonderful photo shoot at your house. It was so nice for you to host that. And that'll be the cover story for My Vegas magazine in Las Vegas in November. And there'll be a story about the Triple Crown and what we're doing. And they're going to follow us all year, as you know. They're really excited about what we're doing. And then we have our live broadcast. So go to soulfulrosie.com and get up to speed on everything going on. And also do sign up for the newsletter. Our first newsletter debut is going to be happening in November. And so, again, we want to have Steve and Warren on quantum and being able to introduce them through the newsletter and some of the other things that we were doing. And then, of course, once they take these walls down, we can go and start doing public events in person. And we'll start hopefully that tour next year. So we got a lot of good things going on, and not to say my book too. I'm working to get that done and that out by the holidays as well. So just stay tuned with everything going on. We're bringing the experts to you. It's been through popular demand, just so you know. People over the last 28 years have said, "How can I reach and touch these experts? How can I bring these things into my life?" And that's what we're doing. Dr. Denise and I have worked very hard on the websites. We have an amazing team of people, dedicated, passionate, loving. I can't ask for a better group of people, Dr. Denise, than we have in our arsenal. And they're hard. And our producer here, I know you can't see her, but beautiful Maria, to be our executive producer now for all of our videos and all that we're doing. And so we thank Maria and everybody involved. Malcolm, Fran,
truly an exciting time to bring it all together. And it's just for really one big goal.
Empowerment, the Great Awakening. Here we are.
That's right. So let's just instead of being negative, let's just be positive, and let's just keep going with that positive energy.
Yes.
And go with it. And what can we do to?
Well, I'm going to end the show with my mantra, like I do every week. And with that, Maria will take us out, and we will see you guys next week at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Just go to soulfulrosie.com, click on the microphone, and it takes you right to our show every week. So I'll end with my mantra that I know God gave me, and that is, when love and intent align, body align. No, when love and intent align with the mind, body, and spirit, we create the art of soulful living. Thank you so much. This is Dr. Janet Franco, also known as Soulful Rosie. Thank you so much, Dr. Denise. God bless you. And again, Steve, thank you. Bye-bye now.